Hello everybody, Spicy Fox here, and in today's video, I thought it'd be fun to create my own Genshin Impact character. Now, spoiler alert, this character will be the best in slot support for the Wanderer, aka Scaramouche, aka Shinharu, as I named him. So, the reason that I wanted to make a Wanderer support specifically was because Shao got his own support as well. I think it's only fair Wanderer also gets one. Plus, I really love the story, aesthetics, and the kit of this character, and I would love to see him just rise in the meta. I will say, he already has a really good team. So as you can see, Wanderer does have a really good team as well, and you're probably wondering who am I going to replace. Obviously, it's not going to be Farazan. Farazan is a staple in his team, not being replaced. Farina is also a 5-star unit. I don't want her to be replaced in the slightest. I love Farina and I think it's great. I will be replacing Bennett, which I know, crazy thing to say. Bennett can heal. He gives a huge amount of attack. He can hold, well, not this one, but he can hold Noblesse Oblige. He is just the GOAT in most teams. However, I will be trying to replace Bennett in this team. So, first off, I want to talk about the general things you should know about this character that I made. So this character is of the Anemo element, and he will hail from Natlan, which means he already has access to the Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City. Alright? So, it's a tall male who comes from Natlan, and his weapon will be a catalyst. So he will be an Anemo Catalyst. Crazy. I know, an Anemo Catalyst. Hoyo could never. It's not like we have so many already. Alright, so the elemental skill will deploy a force shield that reduces the damage taken. So this is going to be similar to Dea. But it will also increase the resistance to interruption. Just like Dea, however, it's for the full duration. And the duration of this force field will be 12 seconds. This is because Wanderer's skill up time is 10 seconds. That combined with maybe you want to burst at the very beginning, which burst animation time. So overall, he will get resistance to interruption and reduce the damage taken for 12 seconds. And the cooldown on this will be 15 seconds. The elemental burst is going to be just an Anemo nuke hit, basically. However, it will also have the following attributes. It will buff the active character's normal attacks by X percentage of this character's attack. So, as we know, Wanderer is a normal attack. He can use charge attacks. However, the reason why I believe he's specifically supposed to be a normal attacker is because once you get his weapon, it gives him normal attack speed, and his C1 also gives him normal attack speed, and then his artifacts set gives him normal attack speed. So I do think Hoyo did intend for him to be a normal attacker. Also, this passive is more reliable if you do normal attacks. So this character will buff normal attacks during the elemental burst. The elemental burst will also have the duration of the buff will also be 12 seconds. However, as we know, this is also a defensive unit. Alright, he gives interruption resistance and damage mitigation. So he will also, this is also so he works better with Farina. So he will be giving additional healing 3 times. The first 2 times will be just for the active character, and these are going to be small ticks of healing. And then the last one is going to be team-wide, which is going to be one bigger amount. So the reason why I think it should be the third last hit is because Farina also gives incoming healing bonus from a burst, which means by itself, his healing might be average. However, with her help, it will be good enough to basically allow full fanfare stacks. And that is the elemental burst. Also, his buffing will scale of his attack, and his healing will scale off of his HP. This is only because I don't want this kit to be too bloated right now by making everything scale off one thing. So you kind of have to choose between one and the other, if that makes sense. Next, I want to talk about his passive talent. So, his Ascension 1, when the active character triggers a swell reaction, their attack increases by 25%, which stacks up to 3 times. The reason I made this stack up to 3 times is to make Bennett less desirable, because Bennett doesn't have any off-field power application by himself. It still works, because Swell applies Pyro in AoE. However, it just makes the Bennett synergy a little less, if that makes sense. And then the 25% attack, that is to make up for losing Bennett. Because in this team, what I'm thinking of is you have Wanderer, Farazan, then this new unit, and then you have Farina. Farina will make sure there's continuous off-field application. And then, oh, volcano explosion over there. Damn. So this will make sure that only Wanderer and obviously also Hazo can make use of the passive because it requires a swell reaction. I guess Sucrose as well. This is really, I mean, Wanderer will benefit the most from this. When all 3 stacks of the Ascension 1 are applied, so when 75% attack is applied, the active character will also get 5% attack speed bonus. This just stacks upon all the other sources of attack speed that the Wanderer already gets from his base kit. Now for the Ascension 2. For every party member that is Animo, including the character that I'm creating, while under the elemental skill effect, additionally gives 50 base attack to the active character's normal attacks. This can stack up to 3 times. This means you will run triple Animo, and then you can use Farina as the last one, and it will give him overall 150 extra base attack, which gets even more because of the 75% of extra attack you get from his talent 1. And it will only work for the character's normal attacks. So the base attack only works on the normal attacks. This will make sure, again, it will not buff Zhao, because Zhao can also use a free Animo team. This is a hyper Wanderer support. So, next I want to go through his Constellations. The swell that is needed for his Ascension 2 can now be activated through any character. So this means any character in the team, including this new character, by the way, can now be used in order to get the base attack bonus. Additionally, the base attack bonus is now a universal buff that is not only tied to just normal attacks. He can not only give 75% of his attack bonus to any character, because he can be the one to do the swell reaction. However, the base attack in his Ascension 2 can now also trigger on anyone as well. And it's not just normal attacks. Basically, he is the Bennett replacement at C1. I think this is a very realistic C1 if we're looking at Hoyo's past track record of C1s. His C2, the elemental skill, is now enhanced. The damage mitigation is increased by X amount. Additionally, the elemental skill will now also deal a coordinated attack every 2 seconds. Alright? This makes him a good Animo sub DPS, who also gets buffed by Farina and also gets buffed by Farazan. So he will be doing considerably good sub DPS as well with a C2. C3 will buff the elemental skill. C4, healing is now always team-wide. Previously we mentioned that the burst will heal the active character 2 times and then 1 big team-wide heal later on. Now healing will always be team-wide. Additionally, when opponents get hit by the projectiles you get from the C2, they will now also shred the Anima resistance by 20%. This is kind of a bait constellation because Farazan already shreds Animo by so much. The 20% won't really do that much, but still, pretty good constellation, especially for C4. His C5 will buff his burst talent, and his C6. After using the elemental skill, this new character will be enhanced. Their normal attacks and charged attacks gain X crit rate and X crit damage. Basically the usual, making the support into a main DPS. Alright, and that was it everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I brought justice to Wanderer, made him ascend to divinity once again. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to press the like button. Maybe consider subscribing. If you didn't enjoy it, I guess you could also dislike. Goodbye.